The Norman castle of Ariano Irpino, probably built by the Lombards of Benevento around 1000 AD, it remained in use and was finally abandoned at the end of the Great Wars of Italy. The castle is located in the highest and most panoramic part of the town and is well preserved with its 4 towers and medieval walls. The function of the castle was to be there to sustain a possible long siege in case of war. It was then chosen by King Roger II, after whom our school is also named. The structure was then demolished when the Saracens arrived, but the castle was restored thanks to King Charles I of Anjou, and in the following century Louis I of Anjou resided there. There were archaeological explorations from which many local ceramic objects of various shapes emerged. Nowadays it houses an exhibition of medieval weapons. Then they planted trees that surrounded the castle, thus creating the present big town villa. The municipal villa is a historical public park on 3 levels, located on the castle hill, the highest of the 3 hills of our town, whose symbol is indeed the 3 hills, which is impressed on the ground in the park. Our beautiful villa is a reason of pride us.
The Cathedral of Ariano Irpino, dedicated to Saint Mary of the Assumption, is an imposing religious building located in the historic center of the town of Ariano Irpino. The present church dates back to the 13th century, but it has been modified and enlarged several times over the centuries. The facade in Baroque style features a portal with a round arch and central rose window. The interior of the cathedral has 3 naves, with numerous side chapels and a semicircular apse. Works of art include a 17th century Madonna of the Rosary and a valuable 18th century wooden choir. The Cathedral of Ariano Irpino is a place of great historical and cultural importance of the era, as well as an important place for worship for the Catholic community in and around Ariano Irpino.
The Abbey of San Guglielmo Algoleto is a Benedictine monastery in Sant'Angelo dei Lombardi, province of Avellino, region of Campania, Italy. The monastery was founded by Saint William of Vercelli in the year 1114. It was started as a female cloister with a small attached monastery for the spiritual guidance and economic assistance of the nuns. For over 2 centuries, the monk community grew its power and influence on all the area of Irpina, but in 1348, with the breakout of Black Plague, a slow and relentless decay started, that led to the suppression of the monk community in 1515, with the last nun's death. But in 1732, after the earthquake, they began the full restoration of the monastery, with the building of the big church by Vaccaro. In 1807, the King of Naples, Joseph Bonaparte, ordered the abbey closure. St. William's body was moved to Montevergine and the furnishings of the abbey were looted. The abbey remained abandoned until 1973, when a determined and fervent monk of Montevergine, Lucio M. de Marino, obtained permission to relocate it to Goleto, reoccupying the abbey and beginning its restoration, bringing it to the ancient splendor. Today, it's a famous religious tourist destination for who is in search for God's presence, spiritual peace, and lifelessness. Troia Cathedral is the Cathedral of Troia in Apulia, Italy, dedicated to the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Built in the first quarter of the 12th century, it is reckoned a masterpiece of Apulian Romanesque architecture, and is particularly noted for the rose window and the bronze doors of the west front. Formerly the seat of the bishops of Troy, it is now a co-cathedral of the towns of Lucera and Troia. Excavation in the 15th were at one believed to have established that the present transept was originally the nave of the previous church building, but it is now contested. The church received its present ground plan, however, in the first quarter of the 12th century through the substantial enlargement of Bishop William II of Troy, who from 1093 had the present nave built. An inscription of bronze doors of the main portal indicates that This was finished in 1119, by which time the construction of the nave was clearly more or less completed. In 1107, work began on the lower part of the west front. Further works, particularly on the upper part of the west front, took place in the 13th century. The present bell tower also standing part on wall of the 11th century.
Rocca San Felice is a small village of about 700 inhabitants in the province of Avellino, Italy. The small village has a castle built around 805 AD by the Lombards, later restored by the Normans. At first, he had a defensive function, but it became a house thanks to the Aquino family. Built at an altitude of 750 meters, a door located inside the town. Part of the walls and the Tonion remains clearly visible from the castle. Partially reserved, it rose up to 4 levels. Main feature of Rocchetta San Felice is the mephitis. There are gaseous exhalation of carbon dioxide and sulfuric acid produced in the boil of the waters in a non-volcanic area. Vegetation in the nearly is absent, and in particular climatic conditions, the fumes are even lethal. Here and there, yellow patches of sulfur are visible, and it turns out to be a unique place in the world for the concentration of carbon dioxide. This natural event is described by many writers, including Burden, who considers it one of the entries to hell. Every year, in August for a week, a famous medieval festival is organized in the village so as to recall the history of the village. Falconers, magicians, jesters, jugglers, silk walkers, musicians, fire eaters are hosted to best recreate the medieval atmosphere. It's really exciting and evolving event.
The sanctuary of Monte Vergine is known as one of the 6 Helen Abbeys that every year welcomes a number of tourists over than 36,000 who come to worship the Madonna. In the square there is a large staircase that leads to the entrance of the monastery, characterized by 2 churches, the ancient part and the cathedral part. The sanctuary is among the eldest in southern Italy and it's located in the Portegno mountain in the town of Mercogliano. It was created at the behest of San Guglielmo da Vercelli as a devotion to the Madonna, called the Mamma Schiavona. There are 2 ways to arrive at the top of the mountain to visit the abbey. The most common way is using the car or funiculars, but some people decide to walk the path of pilgrims or path of Mamma Schiavona, which starting from the center of Ospedaletto Arpinolo leads to the sanctuary in a few hours. Around her figure evolve many stories, legends and traditions that link healthy and profane. Roberto De Simone, in one of his collections, celebrates the Black Madonna. This is because, according to tradition, they were the 6 white Madonnas and 1 black, and the latter, the Madonna of Monte Vergine, was considered the ugliest for the color of her skin. For this reason, she took refuge on the Portegno mountain with the aim of receiving the visit of the other Madonnas. Another legend is that she is the protector of homosexuals. 2 men in 1256 were punished for being caught kissing. The community decided to tie them to a tree on that mountain and make them die. The mother slave, taken by compassion, decided to save them, so she allowed the 2 boys to live their feelings freely.
Lake Lacino is a wonderful natural place in Bagnoli Irpino, a little town in the province of Avellino. Following the unification of Italy, Lacino became an important hiding place for robbers. Around 1974, the 2 chairlifts were built and Lacino, besides being a summer destination, it also became a winter ski resort. In fact, the greatest tourism is recorded both in summer and also in winter. The resort houses a long ski resort, also with artificial snow. It gives the opportunity to admire the Tyrrhenian Sea skiing, because the summit is located on the Gulf of Salerno. Another type of tourism in strong growth is hiking, thanks to the paths that are present. Lake Lacino was a 3 times stage arrival in the Italy Bike Tour and also boasts motor rallies and sport fishing competitions. In addition, every year in the historic center of Bagnoli Irpino, an exhibition of typical products takes place. The event boasts some records, such as the largest chestnut cake in the world and the largest truffles of 2010. In fact, when you go to Lacino, the best dishes to take are the ravioli with truffles, but also pasta with the local porcini mushrooms. You can also visit the old hostel on the lake, which is an inn built in the early 1900s on the basis of a refuge.
Monte Erminio is a mountain located in the province of Avellino, Campania, Italy. At 1,800 meters height, it is one of the highest mountains in the area. Its summit is covered with snow for much of the year and offers spectacular views of the valley below. Monte Erminio is part of the Picentini Mountains Regional Park and is popular with hikers and nature lovers. There are several trails leading to the summit, which offer breathtaking views of the surrounding countryside. In addition, the mountain is also an important source of water for the surrounding area, thanks to its many springs.
Gastronomy is the set of techniques and culinary arts at the basis of good food. It is also very important for the identification of a country. In fact, for every culture we have a different gastronomy left by our ancestors. Behind the gastronomy hides our story.
Antonino Cannavacciuolo was born on April 16, 1975, in the province of Naples. After studying at the hotel school, he began work as a chef in some restaurants, where he began cooking under the supervision of Guardino Marchesi, a famous Italian chef who became his teacher. Cannavacciuolo's most famous dish is linguine, one of the most representative dishes of his cuisine. Now he is one of the most famous Italian chefs and TV personality, famous for his historic restaurant Villa Crespi, and thanks to his idea of cuisine, which combines the flavors of all of Italy, from Piedmont to his city Naples, but also thanks to his participation in some of the most famous TV programs on cooking, such as Cucine da Nightmare and MasterChef. In addition to cooking, Antonino has also written 4 recipe books. At the moment, he owns 3 restaurants all over Italy. In 2021, he opened his new restaurant in his homeland, called L'Agua Countryside.
Italian food is famous all over the world. Those who think of good food inevitably think of Italian. Each region has produced and preserved its own specialities over time, the most famous being the traditional dishes, which are obviously exquisite, appreciated, and have become a symbol of Italian specialities all over the world. From the simple ingredients of the Mediterranean diet to culinary ideas that change history. Pasta with tomato sauce, pizza, the inevitable coffee, and delicious ice cream. Here are the most famous Italian dishes in the world. Pasta. It is a symbol of Italian cuisine in the world. The most famous pasta recipes are carbonara, spaghetti with tomato sauce, and spaghetti with meat sauce. Pizza. It is the best known traditional Italian food in the world. Its origin is uncertain, but it probably has the Kingdom of Naples as its main seat. Its symbol variant is the pizza margherita. Lasagna. It is a dish with very ancient origins. Even think of the ancient Romans. A nice plate of lasagna is made from the thin sheets of egg pasta, meat sauce, grated cheese, and bechamel.
Neapolitan cuisine is one of the oldest and most varied. It is very rich thanks to the influences had in antiquity with other cultures.
Caga.